Hello everybody, and welcome back to more Kerbal Space Program. By now, you've probably seen the Project Destiny trailer, which went up yesterday, and that signifies that the new series will be starting soon. Now, last week for Kerbal, we did post-commentary, which means we filmed the episodes, and then we did commentary afterwards when we were editing. And I didn't really like that method too much, personally. I thought that the episodes didn't come out as, as funny or as strange as they usually do. Because strange things happen in Kerbal, it's just the way that it works, and then you get my reactions from it. So, I think I prefer that method, or this method, instead of that method. So we're gonna stay with the live and snap cuts. But we're just floating along in space. This is our rescue rocket. There was a huge stage underneath this sucker that we got up, and we're in a pretty good orbit right now around Kerbin, about 700 meters. Figured I'd get pretty high up, and we've got our maneuver node set up to get to Moho and everything, which will go and save our poor Kerbal out there who's floating around. But we have 141 days until this is actually going to happen. So I set that maneuver node up. It's really just the next thing we need to do is get there. But that will be all that we're doing. However, we did need to talk about a little bit some Kerbal news to begin with. The first thing is that 0.24 will be coming out really soon. So expect Project Destiny to happen soon. But in the meantime, obviously I'm going to put out this video. Hey, the patch could have come out today for all I know. I haven't checked. Obviously, I'm doing this the day before this video is actually released, so I'm saying today as in Tuesday, even though I'm filming this on Monday. But if it did come out on Tuesday, aka the day this is released, then I will make sure that these episodes, the Project Destiny episodes, will go up on the weekend, because that is the second thing we need to talk about. Now that Transistor is done, Kerbal will take the place on the weekend slot. So for Saturday and Sunday, that's when Kerbal's going to be happening, which is pretty sweet. So those are the two main things. The third thing is, if you haven't bought Kerbal yet, or if you're looking to, or you're just mildly interested, I now have a specified link because I'm an affiliate with the KSP guys. And basically, Squad gives me a code or a link, and I can put that link anywhere. And I've decided to put in all of the descriptions of the Kerbal videos. So if you go to the description down below and you haven't picked up the game yet, you can go purchase it. And it's actually pretty cheap, the game itself, so I would highly suggest it. But the thing is, helping them sell copies is always really good. And the second thing to that is I get a small cut of it, and that's it. So basically, I help them, they help me, you get to play awesome games, and I get to continue making Kerbal videos, so it's going to be awesome. But we should probably actually go save our poor Kerbal who's been floating around, right? I mean, that sounds like a good idea. So we're going to get this maneuver done, which means we got to float around for quite a while. And then I think once we make our maneuver, I'm going to plane change and enter the same plane as that, which can be a little expensive as far as fuel goes, but we do have 4 nuclear engines, a lot of fuel left. We should be able to slow down, pick up our Kerbal, and then come back, no problem. Like I said, this had many other pieces to it, and this is just what I've happened to have gotten into orbit. I was thinking about doing kind of the same system as before, but I didn't know if that would work, because obviously that didn't have enough fuel. Also, we're running a 3-person can here, a crew capsule, but I've taken one of the people out before I've launched. I'm totally floating the wrong way here. I need to go the other direction. I've taken one person out before we did, we went to the landing, or the launch pad, so we only have 2 people in there, which leaves room for our stray Kerbal. But I figured our poor Kerbal would be quite happy to see Tom Kerman and Billy Bob Ford Kerman, or whatever that is. I had to lower the scale of the UI because when I filmed the Project Destiny trailer, I didn't want the UI getting in the way, so I needed it as small as possible. So then when I scaled the video down, it would cover, because there's no way to hide the UI, so you have to scale it in. So, you know, like putting that away and this away really helps, but, you know, you still have a pretty limited thing going on there. Either way, let's get to our maneuver node and get this maneuver started. I think it's pretty clear that this maneuver is going to require quite a bit of delta V, and you know, it always does, but I'm going to use up a ton of fuel doing this, as you could probably tell. Probably be about halfway by the time I get this maneuver done, and then I got to make the plane change maneuver, and that's, once again, going to be quite expensive on that old fuel, but we should be able to get to Moho just fine with how much we have, and to slow down, and to get back, especially with the, because remember, this is pretty much what our stage looks like, right? So we should have enough fuel because our other engines burn a lot more efficiently. Okay, so what I've decided to do instead was not actually match the planes with Moho, because that was going to cost like 1,500 meters per second, and that's a lot of fuel that we don't have to burn. So we're going to have to do this completely a little less inefficiently as far as, you know, making a perfect intercept is concerned with, you know, with getting to our Kerbal, but we're actually going to end up saving fuel in the end. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we should be able to do it. So what I've done is I've just gotten after, you know, a little tweaking, I've gotten an encounter with Moho, and it's within, you know, 600 meters of the actual planet, but we should be able to do as much as we can to, well, I don't know, I say that, but we should be able to do as much as we can to get into an actual orbit here, but this is looking like it's going to be a little bit, luckily I quick save, but it is looking like it's going to be a little tiny window that we have here. So like I said, it's going to be a bit more difficult, and just a little further, a little bit more, okay, cool. So I need to get that out of my face, and I need to slow the heck down. So how much is it gonna cost to slow the heck down? A lot. Holy cow, it is. Wow, I don't know if that will actually work. Okay, well, let me see here. Gosh, I'm gonna see if I can tweak this enough to make it so it's not so bad. So I set up an incredibly optimistic, that's one way to put it, optimistic maneuver node here. Like, oh, that would put me in the perfect realm, but 7,000. Ugh, this is going to be quite tough. So, you know, we'll see how this ends up going. Hopefully, it won't be too bad. By the way, this thing is a beast to control. Whoa, with this thing on the end, which is usually why I just actually turn off SAS, because it just wobbles the heck out of it. But, oop, that was not the button I wanted to press. I actually want to turn off RCS. There we go. We'll see how this goes. We're about to lose our first thing, so we're stopping fairly quickly. Let's turn SAS back on. I have to keep turning it on and off, kind of based on the maneuvers I'm making. Otherwise, it just gets really awkward. All right, we'll turn that on. Oh, definitely a massive slowdown there. However, we are going to have a lot of fuel here, so we should be able to do it. It's going to be expensive as far as fuel goes, but we should be able to do it. It's going to take a while though, so yeah, I will update you guys when this gets a little closer, or if I have to reload to a different save. So I actually ended up reloading a few times there. There's about 3 times, yeah, that I reloaded and loaded from a much earlier state before I did the little tweaking of my maneuver to even get to Moho. And finally, I got one that wasn't so bad. It wasn't as, you know, it wasn't 7,000, which was what the first one was, but I mean, it's certainly getting there. And I mean, we're closing in. We're burning my the nuclear engine, so as you can see, we're not going super quick here, but we did manage to, you know, get it to a point where, like I said, it wasn't going to take freaking 7,000 meters per second for us to slow down enough, and it's getting there. It's close. So hopefully, we'll have an orbit here shortly. So I'm still on the same maneuver here. I just realized that my last node was like totally broken. My last node was like right on, like, it was weird. It was like it was down over here. I just realized that. I'm not sure why it did that. I think it was because I slowed down and I wasn't paying attention. Like I was doing just right there where I wasn't paying attention to the maneuver node. And it, you know, obviously, like right now you see how it's off a bit. I think that's what happened over the course of however long I was sitting there slowing down. But the confusing part is it was telling me like I needed, you know, like 400 meters per second left. But apparently not, because this is telling me I need like another 400. I'd gotten down to 200 on the node and then made this one again, so I don't know what's going on there. And all I did was, you know, I did this. I went to the periapsis, and then I just slowed it down until I got, you know, like that. So it's a rough estimate. And then again, I'm not even paying attention to the maneuver node again. Obviously, I don't need to burn for a minute, and the node is in 26 minutes. Gosh, that's really tiny. I'm going to have to turn the size of my UI back up next time I remember to. I'm just trying to slow down enough here in order to get an orbit, and then we'll get the rest of this figured out. What am I looking like on fuel here? Yeah, I got a lot. I have a lot of fuel. This is definitely how we're going to be rolling. So what I've decided to do here is to speed up time, and I've remade my node once again, closer to the periapsis. And I'm just getting to the node point. So it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's at 40 seconds, 30, 20, 10. Okay, so we'll just fine tune our node here, and then we will burn. And hopefully this will give us a good orbit. Hopefully. It says we only needed to burn for like 50 seconds, so we'll see if that's the case, if that's actually what we end up doing. It looks like it's going to be a little shorter than that, but we are going to orbit, which is good. And then we're going to use our MechJeb unit to get our encounter with the poor Orca. It was like the first real spaceship that I named, you know, something different. And I'm actually going to be using a random spaceship name generator for the rest of our stuff for Project Destiny, but it was the first time I used it, and I got Orca because it was like a giant whale, right? It made sense. But the poor thing, it got its name, and it's lived up to it. It's a giant whale, and it hasn't really done too well as far as, you know, floating around is concerned. I mean, it made it here, and it landed, and got back up, but it just didn't do anything else. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the rendezvous autopilot, like I said I would, because honestly, this is the most tedious thing ever, and it's really just to save me time. So this is going to auto-engage, hands off the keyboard, it's just going to do its thing. Now, while I've said in the past that, yeah, this feels kind of cheaty, it is one of those things that I have done. I have done it on my own, so I'm not super concerned that it is cheaty because I know I can do it. The second thing about all that is, and many of you have pointed out, most of the computer systems on, you know, spacecraft have this kind of technology anyways, where it just maneuvers it into position. A lot of that is pre-programmed, obviously, and the math is like triple and quadruple checked by any type of engineer who's, you know, on that mission. But the fact of the matter remains that a lot of this is done automatically. You know, they take the hand off the stick and they let the computer do these maneuvers because it's super important that they have to. With that being said, though, there are quite a few maneuvers that all these astronauts actually do on their own. So it's worth pointing out that while it seems kind of cheaty, it is something that they, you know, space systems and space anything actually, like even SpaceX, which is a kind of a privately owned, you know, space company, would be using this kind of stuff, which you would expect them to, right? And NASA and the Russian program and all that fun stuff. Anyways, we'll let MechJeb do its thing, and we'll catch up with our craft. You know what I find interesting is that it's got to... Okay, so what it's going to do here, just to explain how this system is working, is it's going to now pull my apoapsis in, and I'm going to be within a perfect circle in the middle of the Orca craft, right? And then it's going to pretty much find the spot that it's going to rendezvous with, and then it'll speed up and everything. But it only needed to burn like 20-something seconds, or meters per second there, which is not a lot. It's surprisingly a small maneuver that it's doing, and then it's just going to continuously speed up. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that remember, we're not docking, which is making this a lot easier. We don't have to dock, and the autopilot for docking, while it makes things a lot easier, and I obviously used it in the Project Destiny trailer because, to be quite frank, it's way easier to film when you're not having to worry about docking, right? So I just kind of let it do its thing while I filmed it. But you know, we just need to get within 100 meters, and then we can literally get out of the Orca with our other Kerbal and fly over to this spaceship and get in and then take off. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're not going to get super close. Don't want to play it dangerous, but we will get close enough that we can just get out of our spacecraft and then go into this one. I'm going to be the first to admit that MechJab is having a few issues here figuring out what it needs to do. It's trying to rendezvous, but it is not having a fun time of doing it. Yeah, sometimes automated systems do this, but I guess it's good that we're not running the mods that we are in the Project Destiny series, which I have an entire new install for because I have so many freaking mods there, and I'm going to do a guide on the website of how to install them all in case you needed or wanted to. And one of the ones we are using is the TAC Life Support, so in that one you really have to worry about how long your mission is going to take, because you want to only give yourself enough food to get there and back, and then a little bit to linger if you need to. But you know, you have like food, water, and oxygen and stuff like that. So it's a really cool mod. I like it a lot. It adds a completely different dynamic to the game. We're finally starting to get fairly close. You see, we're 500 meters, 400, almost. Okay, there's 300. Nice. So it's making its final burn, it looks like, and we should... Where's the closest point? Way over there, yeah. We'll be nice and close to it. We actually should be able to just disengage that, turn on that, so it stops us spinning to death. We'll actually turn on our lights so we can see a little bit. That's not what I wanted. And then switch to the Orca. And you can see the Moho rescue right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to... Bob, don't look so scared. We're going to take data. So that's the surface sample. I don't know if we're actually able to... Okay, so we're going to collect that. Moving experiment data. I'll render this. Yes. Remove data. We're going to remove that data. And we had these down here. Click. Yep. We want to just remove all this, because remember, we still had science that we wanted to gather, right? Oh, well, that's gonna do its thing. So, whoop. Oh, no, wrong way. There we go. Okay, just whatever. Can I right click on this one? Am I not close enough? There it goes. Collect data, remove data. And we had some things on the back, correct? Yeah, okay, I see them now. And okay. I don't think I can actually remove that. Can I take the data from that? Yes. How about that? Yep. And that? Yep. Okay. That should be everything. You know, Lander, you've been great to us, but it's time to go meet our buddies who have valorously rescued us from the grasps of Moho. Okay, let's really get a good look at this thing as we come up. I mean, he's got to eyeball it, right? He's got to understand what he's getting into here. Wow, and you gotta give Bob all credit where credit is due. He has impeccable control with his little RCS thrusters here. Okay. Board. Experiments you have collected cannot be stored. Wait, why not? Crap. Okay. Well, crap. Okay, here's... You know what, guys? You should have told me that wasn't gonna work. Whoa, whoa, whoa. As he embarrassingly runs away. And goes back over to here. So, can I... Whoa, slow down. Can I... Can I EVA report? No, I don't want to. Okay. Grab on. Okay. Nope, that's... gosh, you're bad at this. Up, over, down, grab. Nope, that's... You didn't grab again. Grab. Nope, grab. Aha. Board. Aha. Okay, so let's... Well, here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna review the data. And we're gonna transmit it. I think we have more data to transmit. I don't know why it's... Maybe I lost all that data, which is unfortunate. Right click. Transmit data. Transmit all. Okay, this should do it. Nope, it doesn't look like it is. Okay, whatever. You know what, Bob? It's time to get out of here, in my opinion. You've been here long enough. It's been fun, but you've been stranded out here for the better half of like a year. So, whoa, as we slow down. Why are you not slowing down? There it goes. And whoop, up. Gently now. Grab. Board. Okay. Bob, meet Billy Bob and Tom. They're excited to see you, apparently. Orca, it was nice seeing you, but I think it's time to finally get back to Kerbin. We'll probably turn our lights off. I added green lights, by the way, just so I know that it's our lifeboat. But with that, in the next episode, if there is a next episode, depending on when patch 2.4 comes out, we'll make it back to Kerbin, which actually, if we look at our fuel, we have a lot of fuel. We're gonna make it. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. In fact, what happened there, I was actually realizing this because the game crashed in the middle of that, but the fuel tank, it wasn't pulling from the fuel tanks, and I don't know why, from the middle one. So it was only pulling from these, which means the readout number was not being correct to me before I crashed, which probably has something to do with why I crashed. So then I just transferred the fuel when I came back in, and sure enough, it's all of these are back to full, and our fuel is looking good. So, and that was even after all the maneuvering, which is quite good. I'm glad that we had enough to get here and potentially back, depending on, obviously, the status of Project Destiny. But with that being said, and with that awesome view, again, of Moho in the background, we'll see you guys next time.